if you married right within the same tribe, you're going to have a shared assignment. Your family is not a mistake. Your family is not just here for survival. Your family is here to shape a future, to shape futures of the world, not just the future of your kids, the future of the planet we live in. You need to understand what you're responsible for. You need to understand that marriage, family is a deep commitment and a crucial part to God's design to causing the earth to flourish. And if you don't work in it, you'll be doing yourself a disservice and your generation a disservice. And if you're already older, it's your responsibility to find your vision. If you're not yet married, it's your responsibility to marry within your vision. The question now is, what do you want your family to be remembered for? What did God call you people to do? What do you think you are passionate about? What do you think you want to change on the face of the earth? What do you feel personally responsible for that God has called you to communicate, do, or carry out on the face of the earth? Your family is not random. Heaven saw it. Heaven planned it. Heaven placed it where it is. But if you don't define your family, what your family stands for, the world will define it for you. So let me ask you this question. With the way you are parenting, are you raising a king or you are raising a wanderer? So today's episode is going to show you how to create clear family vision and value, understand your divine responsibility as a parent, help you see parenting as more than survival but so stewardship. Also help you know how to create a prophetic culture in your home from day one. The Bible says in Psalm 139 verse 16, all the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. In the Message translation, it says, all the days of my life were before you. And you wrote all of them before I even existed or carried out anyone. So just like nations and companies need visions, values, families also do. You probably have heard this many times or you're hearing it for the first time. But the question is, what's your family's vision? Do your family have a vision? What's your family's vision? If you asked your child of 5 years old, would they know your family's vision? Do your spouse know your family's vision? Just like your children didn't come to find themselves, they came from you. So you have to help them remember who they are. So without guiding vision, your home will always react to life than rather lead it. You don't have a vision for your home. Everything you'll be reacting to. So your home would ever do that. What is vision? So vision is why we exist. Please, if you've not seen the last episode we did on tribes, that was a foundation leading to this conversation. This is a continuation of that episode. You might want to go and watch that episode. It will give you a clearer picture as to how you can figure out why we exist. Your core values. Your values are how we behave. Hope you can see my writing. Your values are how we behave. Then you can always add a creed. What's a creed? A creed is what do you want, what we declare and what we live by. What we declare and live by. That's a creed. So, the question now is, what do you want your family to be remembered for? If you don't have your family value, visions, and creed yet, so you could start from practically defining what do you want your family to be remembered for. So that can help you remember and start figuring out your vision. Why do you exist as a family? We don't fake it, we face it. It can help you start figuring out your values. How we behave as a family. It can help you start figuring out your creed, what we declare and what we live by. Because by creating this, you start to create a sense of direction, guidance, and clarity for everyone, not just yourself, your spouse or your children, and everyone who's coming in contact with your household as to your guiding principle for living, functioning, and doing life. And like I said, watch the other episode on tribes and systems of family design. It's just before this one. You'll be able to now tie better how you behave, what your family. So your values will now be how you behave. When you figure out why your family exists, we have ours. We're called to do this on the face of the earth for this and this set of people. That's why we exist. What are our values? We have our values: excellence, integrity, obeying God's word. We're able to define it. What's our creed? What do we define and say every time? We are gods on the earth and every door opens for us. We're here to make God's mountain the mountain that is towering over every other mountain in the space of relationship. You have to know that. But not just you. When this is figured out, you have to write it, print it out, make it bold, allow your children say it, declare it all the time and explain it as you go. Now, if you don't have this at all before, whatever you start with is a starting point. You will keep evolving, it will keep evolving, it will keep evolving. But you would see that it will work step by step. So how can you create something like this? First of all, watch the other episode of the video, which is very important to guiding you to do this. Then you pray about it. Ask God what was His intent for your family and your home. What was it? What did God call you people to do? He would show you. God is such a good God. He's so merciful, He's so gracious that He will show you. Again, you have to review your burden and your responsibility. What do you think you are passionate about? What do you think you want to change on the face of the earth? What do you feel personally responsible for that God has called you to communicate, do, or carry out on the face of the earth? You want to trace patterns from you, your siblings, your parents, things you like to do. You want to trace all those things. By the time you start putting all those thoughts together, you can start writing a sample. Write a sample of a vision. It might not be great yet, but write it down. Start with something. Draft what comes to mind. Whatever you have drafted, start praying about it. Start seeking God's face about it. Start considering the thoughts of God about it. Then write your values. Your values are usually between 5 to 7 words. They are your core values. You are going to have a lot of values, but you can have your core values. You can write that, our family vision is to build and bless and birth leaders who will serve God and transform culture. That's just a sample. That's not mine. That's just a sample. You can birth values. You can do love. In our family, we love, we honor, we are obedient, we are excellent, we obey faith, we are hospitable, responsible. But usually between 5 and 7, you don't want to go beyond 7. The other values you have are going to fall underneath your already existing values. And those values, like I said, how we behave, will now begin to drive and propel, how your family makes decisions, how you live, what you live for, what you live by, what you don't stand with. Everybody now knows that. It now becomes clear. You are doing the creed because it's a confession that you keep doing over and over and over and over again. So it sinks your subconscious. So you by default start behaving and living the way you want to get into. So you turn your creed is now, what makes up your creed is a combination of your value, your vision and your value. Both sentence come together, makes up your creed. So for instance, if you say your vision is to build and bless and birth leaders who will transform the world and the culture, and your families are love, honest, your values are love, honest, obedience and faith, your creed might now sound something like, we are like the Daniels. We speak truth, we love clean, we live deeply, we serve boldly and walk by God. It now becomes a combination. That's how you write it. Fundamental but critical. Fundamental but deeply important. Fundamental but deeply needed. So you take this, it doesn't matter if it was the first draft. Pray over the first draft for a couple of months. Then start communicating it to your wife and your kids. Get your wife to pray about what you have communicated. Both of you are one. God will give you the same prompt that is giving her. Because if you married right within the same tribe, you're going to have a shared assignment. Again, we already established that in a preceding episode to this one. So you create that value, you put it on the wall, put it in the bathroom, stamp them different places. Let the children say them after your prayer, say them during the morning drive, say them as you move around, say them as you go into all these places. These things are going to be very important in setting out the structure that you need to live by for your family. That's very fundamental. However, there's something else I want to show you today. Why you need this and why you need to understand this and understand the preceding episode is because when God, makes children, this is what happens. Everybody, you, I, your kids, they were existing in heaven. They were existing in a place called heaven before they came to earth. You and the kids, your first appearance into this world was not in this world. The Bible says that He had preordained you before the foundations of the earth. He has formed you. He has made you. Every part of your life was already been scripted before you were born. So in heaven, you're already functioning. You're already doing what you needed to do. You're already with God. You're already leading, having a good time, having a swell time. You're already doing all of this in heaven. Now, it was time within the context of our chronological clock for you to come to this world. Please stay with me. For you to come to this world, and you are now going to be born into it because you need to have a body to function in the earth. So your spirit was going to come to the earth. Your spirit needed a body. And your spirit was going to be sent in a body to go to your tribe in the earth. That's what God would do for you. Now, when you get here, your parents meet themselves, fall in love, stay in love, conceive you in love, and you're now a seed. You did not just appear from the sperm. The sperm that has now entered the ovary, what it's doing is the sperm is preparing the process for your body. That's what the sperm is doing. But your spirit is now released. So there's something happening in this space between when you're in heaven and the earth. Something is happening here. Your body is forming. But there's something that also happens called memory loss. We don't fake it, we face it. Every truth, every tear. So heavenly memory loss. Make the silence disappear. In this process here, between year and year, before you arrived the earth, you lost all memories of what you usually used to do in heaven. So you come into the earth as a blank slate. You are now a spirit that has a soul, but you live in a body. So your spirit came from heaven. Your soul is a blank slate. Your soul has forgotten everything you used to do. Memory loss has occurred. So you come into this earth as a baby who is blank. Now, dear parents, therein lies in your responsibility. The moment in this space before earth, you have 9 months. Before 9 months. Before. If you're not married yet, you are single, these are the things you ought to do for your children. Before 9 months, you start praying for God to show you exactly what it is the child that God is giving to you was doing in heaven. We don't fake it. God is so good, so loving, so gracious. And He wants you to know. He's not trying to keep secret from you. So He shows you. He shows you this. You now know it. So you nurture the child. When the child comes to the earth finally, so they are blank. They have arrived, but they arrived blank. They arrived blank. Now, what's your job as a parent? What's your job as a parent? Your job now is to, in the first 3 years, now they arrive blank. So from 0 to 3, what happens in the child's mind is they can learn everything. So from 0 to 3, you give them foundational knowledge. You teach them how to talk, how you think, how to regulate their emotions, how to trust, what love looks like, what connection looks like. You are doing all that from age 0 to 3. Remember, God has already told you what the child used to do in heaven. So now you know what the child is coming to do in earth, because they are coming to do exactly what they used to do in heaven. That's why they came. They didn't come because you needed a baby. They came because there was an assignment for them. You are not here randomly because something happened and you needed to get something or something. No. You are here because there's an assignment for your life. So now that you are here for that, your parents have the foundational time to give you this information. Between age 4 to 12, your parents are not supposed to tell you, teach you values. Values and vision. This thing that you created here, you are supposed to communicate it to the child from 3 years old to 12 years old. You are communicating all that information to the child. You are telling them what your family stands for. You're telling them your DNA creed. You're telling them your values. You're telling them what God has called you people to do. You're letting them know the tribe they belong to. You are giving them formation of solid information repeatedly, and you are modeling it. 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 You are giving them all that information between that time. Your responsibility, by the time they clock 13, from 12 years old, you now allow them start making choices. The choices they will make here is that they will now start interpreting the values you have taught them, but they will now also know from this age, what God made them to be. Because you've been telling them the vision you got prophetically over them. You've been teaching them in your family lineage and tribe for a while. For all this time, between 3 and 6, the whole 9 years, you've been giving them that information. By the time they came 12, they will not have the ability, their body, their mind would have matured now to the point where they can now start having emotions, reasoning, critical thinking for themselves. So they will now start use based on the value you have given them, based on the direction you have nudged them to go. They will now start looking for the same thing for themselves. So they will now start looking for their specific assignments. So now that it's with them between the age 12, till about 25 or 30 years old, what the children are supposed to be doing is that there'll be preparation. That's what will be happening. This is what's supposed to be happening for them. They'll be preparing. Between these age brackets. Now, because of the time we live in, what will happen is that some of these processes will even be faster. If you read Amos, you will see where the Bible talks about how things will move in the speed of light. Processes will be faster. As you are planting, you are reaping. In fact, before you finish planting, you've reaped. In Amos 9:13, you read it, you see what I'm talking about. Some of these processes will be faster for some children. The speed that it will come up will be the speed at which you are in connection with God and you are leading them. So when you are teaching them how to speak, how to lead, your first core responsibility is to give them the value that God called them to do. But then what will happen is that when they find it will decide their assignments, to decide the career they want to lead in school, to decide what job they should do, should decide who they should marry. They will start preparing. The flow and ease and understanding for the child's way will be different. But see, all this information I'm giving to you now sounds new, sounds fresh, sounds like, what is it saying? Because the word has schooled you to create another set of pattern for your children. You teach them maths, you teach them baseball, you teach them sports, you teach them science, but you don't teach them purpose. Then they spend the years at 13, they start having identity crisis, they are confused at what to learn, what to do, Then they start experimenting. They get to 35. They've still not found what they're supposed to be doing on earth. Some of them can even die without finding what they are called to do on earth. And why is that possible? Why is that possible? Why is the struggle there? Again, if you find this at 13, already as a family, you'll be flourishing in Egypt. At 13, your children will start flourishing with ease. Flourishing doesn't mean the accept of challenges. Please don't get me wrong. But they will find ease. Because now you might ask me that, so if God has already preordained this, and in Psalm, he said he has already written all the days of my life, so why am I not living out what he has written? Why is it not just easy breezy, clear, direct? So when God writes script, it's not like the way we are writing scripts now. So God has written out, this is the kingdom script.
We don't fake it, we face it. Every truth, every tear.
This is the kingdom script. This is the kingdom pattern. This one here. God has written it out for you to follow and use it. Why are you not living it out? So here's what happens. When God writes a script, he writes the script. So if you between your ages of 0 to 12, for instance, each day of your life, every single day has been scripted. Every single day. However, day one has like maybe 1,000 versions.
Welcome home to the place where the mending begins.
So does day 2 till you die. In fact, the script of your death has different versions, about 1,000 versions also. In a script, you might be marked to die at 75. Yeah. There's a version of you that he has a mark to die here, but there are choices that you will make in a version that you can die at 30. So you can end it here. You can end it here. And he will ask you when you come that you didn't do what I sent you to do. So the fact that your parents didn't know this, so parents, you are responsible for teaching your children this. If you are already more than 13 and you are watching this now and you don't know this information, you're responsible to go back to, at this point now, it's not more in your parents' hands. If you are more than 13, at this point now, it's now in your hands to go and say, God, what tribe am I supposed to be in? Where's my parents? I want to start learning. Then you start doing preparation. There's something called the system of restoration in the kingdom of God. That's not what I'm talking about. When you find it, God will fashion things and time becomes compressed. The times that you have lost will be restored and you walk back in speed. There's a system of speed. I can't break all that down now. But once you clock 30, your parents are responsible to teach you, show you and lead you in it between 0 to 13. And parents, this is very critical. It is your responsibility to do that. It is your responsibility to do that. But if your parents didn't do that, it's your responsibility now to learn it from 13 and align. So wherever you are, remember that all the days of your life you are written, but they have different versions. What you now want to do is that the cry of your heart is that you now want to live your life within the best version of the script that God wrote for you. So when Adam disobeyed Eve, was God aware? Yes, there was a version that God had written that had Adam eating the apple. There was a version where Eve did not even eat the apple at all. There's also a version that Adam did not even eat the apple at all. And if they are taking any of those scripts version, the consequences and what will happen later would be different. There are different versions of your life, of your daily script. The life you live today now, the question you should be asking yourself is this the version that God wanted me to live today? Did I do and live and work in the script of the best original version that God wrote for me? Or did I deviate and run in another version? None of your versions is a surprise to God. However, the version you live will determine the speed at which you will fulfill destiny. And the moment you come in alignment, you start living inside what I call your Eden. Your Eden is not your geographical location. It is your location of alignment. And in your Eden, you see this is your specific place that you started serving. you'll start having ease. Your hidden is your calling. You'll be able to walk with it. You'll be able to walk in your design. You'll be able to flourish. When challenges come, you'll be able to navigate past it. They tried to kill Joseph in so many ways, but everything they were doing were leading him to the place he was supposed to be. They tried to bury Jesus and kill him. The devil said, if I had known, I wouldn't have crucified the Lord of glory, because that was a mistake. But God was functioning. Jesus was functioning in his Eden. Paul knew when he started functioning in his Eden and his age that, go there, they will kill you. The man that this belt is tying in his hand, he owns this belt that ties him and will suffer. Paul says, that's my Eden. He will deliver me from it. The boat may crash, but I will not be destroyed. Why do you have that assurance? Because you are in alignment. You are in alignment. You are in alignment. You begin to observe that difficult things become easy. You flourish, and when challenges come, you can scale through. You see the patterns across it when you are in alignment. Because your family is not just here for survival. If you're a parent, your family is not just here for survival. Your family is here to shape a future, to shape futures of the world, not just the future of your kids, the future of the planet we live in. You need to understand what you're responsible for. You need to understand that marriage, family is a deep commitment and a crucial part to God's design to causing the earth to flourish. And if you don't work in it, you'll be doing yourself a disservice and your generation a disservice. And if you're already older, it's your responsibility to find your vision. If you're not yet married, it's your responsibility to marry within your vision. So you need to define your vision. You need to bring direction to the vision. You need to create values that you live by and you model so other people can also see. You need to create a creed for your unity. Because your parenting unlocks the eternity in their soul, in the souls of your children. So I challenge you today to take this, create a family vision, write a value. Stop living and reacting to life instead of responding and leading life. God made you intentionally. Heaven knows about you. Your family is not a mistake. And I pray you find the wisdom to be able to apply these things you've learned. Until you see you in the next episode. My name is Ini. I'd like to hear from you, connect with you. If you need further information, instructions, and way to be able to carry this in out, we'll have a 1-year mentorship class where we'll do this for people. We'll be glad to have you on board and help you. Bye-bye for now.